Hello there and welcome to this episode of Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. I'm Alan Waddell and joined as always by the head baseball coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Matt Reiser. Coach, thanks for being here. Coming off of a weekend, last weekend, where we may have been a little disappointed losing your first series of the year, you come back and maybe play your most complete week of baseball of the season, a 4-0 week for your club. I know you got to be proud.
Yeah, really proud. Again, these kids have saw some adversity throughout the year, and we've had our different challenges. And last Sunday at Utah, at Salt Lake City, when we lost that ball game there in the ninth inning, I challenged the guys. I said, look, here's the deal. We kind of took the week off. We didn't get any better for what we needed to for the rest of the conference. We got to get back to who we are. We sightsee to maybe a little bit there in Salt Lake City, and they did a fantastic job coming back this week and taking care of business.
Well, the Lions would open their week on the road at UL Lafayette to take on the Cajuns. This was really a quick turnaround because the Lions flew back from Salt Lake City on Monday and were playing on Tuesday on the road. Here's the highlights. Here we go, Tuesday night against UL Lafayette over on the road. Matt and Pat Cashman was really good in this one. We pick it up. The score's to 2-2. Chris Eads with a 2-run homer, and then they answer it to make it 2-2. This is a really good ball game all the way through.
Yeah, it really was. I was proud of Pat. He gave up some unfortunate C&I singles. Actually had given up 9 hits at one point and only 1 run, and just did a good job of keeping us in the ball game. And ULL's got a tough bunch. They come back here. We go to the bullpen with Drake and Bethel. Drake falls behind here in a 3-1 count. Their guy does a good job of dominating this one over the right field fence there and make it 3-2 here in the 7th. So, we needed a big comeback here, and really proud of the guys here. We hadn't been swinging the bat very well this past week, and then all of a sudden put some bats together. Big at bat here by Kevin Carr, lacing one to right field with the bases loaded and tying it up there 3-3, which was a big momentum swing for us. And then Brett Hoffman comes up, does a good job to break the ball away. They go to the closer. And he puts one there in the 6th hole to score 2. Take that lead 5-3. Just really proud of the bats we ended up grinding out.
So the Lions rallied for the victory in this one over at ULL. Well, Matt, a big victory, a nice RPI win over UL Lafayette out of the Sun Belt. You come back and win it 5-3. Jump out to the lead, they come back, take the lead, and then you answer late in the ball game. I know you had to be proud of the club.
Yeah, it really was. We talked a little bit about the offense. We've been struggling a little bit here the last couple of weeks, and this game was no different. But at one point in time, I think they had 9 hits, and we had only 3 hits. But we made ours count. We had 2 runs. They only had 1. And I thought Pat Cashman did a fantastic job of eliminating some big innings for us. Defense played really well. And then offensively, we got the hits that mattered. We get the big hit there by Kevin Carr to tie the ball game up, and then the hit there by Hoffman. Just couldn't be more proud of him to come up with a big hit.
Also a very impressive road win, because over the last couple of years, it's been very hard to win in Lafayette for anybody that's gone in there. So the Lions go in and knock off the Cajuns for a big victory on Tuesday night. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the highlights as the Lions would host McNeese State in a huge Southland Conference series in Hammond, right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get $9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Your eyesight is so important, and when it comes to your eye care, let the friendly staff at the Bond Roten Eye Clinic care for you. Doctors Hunter Bond and Chris Roten, along with their staff of trained doctors, are committed to providing every patient with quality care. The Bond Roten Eye Clinic has the latest medical technology and eye care to help you, the patient. With over 14 years of experience, the Bond Roten Eye Clinic has 3 locations to serve you, with offices in Denham Springs, Hammond, and Amite. So if it's a checkup, glasses, or LASIK surgery, you need to visit the Bond Roten Eye Clinic. For more information on the clinic, please visit bondroteneyeclinic.com.
Lions Baseball is supported by Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction, located in SLU's hometown, Hammond, Louisiana. Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction is a dealer-only auction.
For more information on Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction or their upcoming charity golf tournament, please visit www.lafcaa.com or visit Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome to Buddy's Bar and Grill, located at 1236 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond. Buddy's is home to great steaks, fresh seafood and friendly service. Buddy's has been voted the best steakhouse and best restaurant in Tangipahoa Parish. With over 2,500 square feet and 3 large dining rooms, Buddy's can accommodate any party. Buddy's goal has always been to wow customers with their food and prices. Owner Scott Henderson and his family have always believed in giving customers good deals for their hard-earned money. Stop by Buddy's Bar and Grill for dinner and a drink. For more information on Buddy's, please visit buddyshammond.com.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Rosser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. On Friday night, the Lions would welcome in the McNeese State Cowboys for a huge Southland Conference showdown, as we're going to throw it out and check out those Friday night highlights. Don't adjust your set. The Lions aren't playing the Brewers. That's McNeese State coming to town on Friday night. All right, Matt, Friday night against McNeese State. I know a very good friend of yours and Justin Hill coaching those guys, and there's our first pitch of the ball game. Man, this would be a great one on Friday night, and I don't want to ruin the highlights here, but this was a game that would come all the way down to the wire.
It really was, and I tell you what, both clubs has a tough bunch of kids, and Tate C&O, you see there on the bump, goes out and really had a really nice outing here. Gets a double play ball, get out of the first inning, and then offense goes right to work. You see Jacob Seward there, leadoff single there in the first inning. We don't waste no time, as Daniel Midyet will go ahead and deposit this one out in the right field parking lot for his 7th home run of the year, the conference leader in home runs right now with 7. Just really proud to jump out of there 2-0.
Lions hit the big fly, go up 2-0 on McNeese State at home, and like you said, Tate was good once again here on Friday night. He would come back out, and as we see some dancing there in the stands, but he would come back out and really dominate their hitters for most of the ball game. Yeah,
really did an awesome job, and to be honest, we almost got to a point where our offense got too relaxed. That Tate was in such a groove for so long. We see there a nice play there by Webb Bobo. We come right back here with another knock by Carson Kreitz, who had a really good weekend. I think he ended up being 3 for 3 in game 2 with a couple hits here in this game as well, and really had a chance here to kind of expand the lead a little bit. As you can see, the playing conditions weren't the greatest in the world, but Brock Van Fossen, our assistant coach, who was in charge of the field, did a great job of getting the field ready. And then you see there, that's a nice job there, still in the double steal, get second and third. And this was kind of the point in the game where I thought we could really open it up, but their guy does a good job of throwing a breaking ball down, gets a strikeout, and then they go right back to Tate C&O.
Here's a ground ball that this runner was called out there as it was on the transfer. Coach Hill from McNeese did not agree, but the call would stand as they would say that it was called at second base.
Yeah, an unfortunate break there maybe for him, but Tate does a good job coming right back to it. And like we said, he kind of got in cruise control there for a little bit. That maybe your offense kind of took a couple innings off, but Kennedy Menard here goes, try to get something going again. Again, we're getting guys on base, but just not being able to put up the runs like we wanted to. We missed the hit and run here, so we get thrown out there at second base, and that's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. But Tate goes back here, right back to work, a big strikeout there. And then this was kind of the one inning. We had 2 outs, runner at first base. He's still second base. They get a 3-0 knock in the backside gap, and also get another 2-out knock here to tie it up 2-2. And kind of took our offense by a little surprise. He gets a strikeout there to get out of the end of the inning, but then our offense went to kind of pressing a little bit. They went to the bullpen, we went to the bullpen, and really proud of Cade Grenier coming in here in a big situation, getting a 6-4-3 double play ball to get out of the inning that allowed us to keep it right where it was at. Does a good job coming back the next inning, getting the strikeout, which ended up being a big strikeout for us as well. And then this strikeout was huge. Another guy in scoring position again to go in the bottom of the 9th inning and give our defense a chance, our offense a chance to win the ball game.
This game would actually go extra innings. Dominic Carlini comes out and throws a perfect top of the 10th inning, and that would set the stage for your offense. In the bottom of the 10th inning, you get 2 outs quickly. This is a big play right here as Jacob Seward hits one down the line and is able to keep the inning going with 2 outs.
Yeah, again, it sets up the heroics for what's getting ready to come, and Jacob Seward does a good job. There were 2 strikes, getting on base, and then here it is, first pitch, the hanging breaking ball. Julian Service hits a no-doubter out of the ballpark over the left field wall to win it in the walk-off homer style. You see the guys excited, and just, to be honest with you, we weren't executing a whole lot offensively. I thought it might come down to this, might have to hit a walk-off, because their guy was really, really good to come in relief. And Julian does a good job of stepping up with a big knock there to win the ball game.
So the Lions win game 1, 4-2. 2 two-run home runs for Southeastern. That was the offense. That's what they would need as the Lions take Game 1 of the series and remain in first place in the Southland Conference. All right, Matt, a little magic on Friday night, a tremendous win. Lions playing a little gorilla ball there, 2 two-run homers, as this team just shows that they can get it done in multiple ways. Great pitching, couple of key hits, and you take Game 1 of the series.
Yeah, kind of like you said, I thought we got off to a fast start there. Tate Ciano was fantastic in his outing, really cruised the first 5 innings, got in a little bit of trouble there in the 6th. They got 2 back-to-back 2-out knocks. Maybe had a guy thrown out there at second base. We drop a ball, so unfortunate, but our guys did a good job of just grinding out some at-bats. Like we talked about in the highlights a little bit, I didn't like where we were. The reliever came in, threw really well against us. Kind of started putting that thought process in my head was, hey, maybe it's going to have to be a walk-off night. And sure enough, Jacob Seward with his two-out hit with 2 strikes, and then Julian Service for the heroics there. Just couldn't be more proud of that young man.
Congratulations to Julian Service, his first home run here for Southeastern. It was a big one, and I'll tell you, the video is good, but it doesn't do it justice from being there live. That ball was absolutely crushed. It was a no-doubter off the bat. Matt, I got to talk to you a little bit. It seems like all year we've been talking about the weather. Well, you would be rained out on Saturday, as you would play no game, and you're going to end up playing a doubleheader on Sunday. Unfortunately, your club is getting used to playing these doubleheader type of games.
Yeah, we've been pretty good in them so far. Again, something you can't control is Mother Nature, and we forewarned the guys. We saw the forecast for the week. We had 10 straight days of rain. The field was really in some rough conditions, but our kids, along with Coach Brock, did a fantastic job of getting the field ready. It was a miracle we got Friday night in, and to be able to get that doubleheader on Sunday, the good Lord willing there with the sunshine, dried everything out, and I thought our guys did a fantastic job of ringing the bell.
So there would be no game on Saturday. Let's go back out on Sunday for Game 1 of a doubleheader. All right, Matt, here's Game 1 of the doubleheader on Sunday, and it was an absolutely gorgeous day. As bad as the weather has been, on Sunday it really opened up for us. It was a beautiful day, and your offense would certainly respond. Again, I don't want to ruin all these highlights, but a big offensive day in both games on Sunday.
Yeah, really a special day for us, all the way around from a baseball standpoint, but outside of baseball as well. Paige Hickman threw out the first pitch there, and it was our knock cancer out of the park day, and we did a little bit more knock cancer out of the park. We did the same thing with the Cowboys. We did a fantastic job of just playing fast all day long. You see, we throw out the stolen base leader in the conference there, in the Southland Conference at second base, as they try to be aggressive early. We do a good job here of getting another little pop-up and big-time play here by Ryan Byers. I think it was on maybe Sports Center top 10, or at least nominated for it. There in the gap, runs it down, and who had a very, very big day for us, and then allowed Jake to go right back to work, and then allowed our offense to go to work.
There's a nice job by Brett Hoffman, as this pitcher had not walked many guys on the year. Did a good job commanding the zone in this one by your hitters.
Yeah, I thought that was the biggest part of it. We did a good job of setting up some innings. We get the walks. Now we got to get first base. He's in double play depth. Therefore, we get the little CNI single there in the 6th hole. And then, like we talked about a little bit with Ryan Byers, big at bat here, just battle. Saw 11, 12 pitches, gets a ball there in the 6th hole to get the 2-out RBI to score the guy from third base. We had to hold the guy there at third, but allowed Jacob Seward to come up. We steal Byers at second base, and Seward comes up with another big 2-out knock to take the early lead there at 3-0.
Lions go on top 3-0 against McNeese State, and you would continue to add on. I thought that was what was impressive by your club. Continue to play good defense and pitch as well, but your offense continued to add on in this one.
That was a big part of it. Jake kind of got there in the 3rd or 4th inning, kind of got out of his normal rhythm, but we just kept answering, and I don't think their bullpen had a whole lot of answers for our offense. See Daniel Midget there with another 2-out knock to the right field to really expand that lead to 4-0. And it allowed Jake to have some of those mistakes a little bit. But as you saw, it wasn't a whole lot of mistakes. He gets the swing and miss there. We get the 4-6 put out there to end the inning. Really allowed him to work out some jams with no problems, no issues. And, again, we go back to dominating the strike zone. We get the leadoff walk, back-to-back leadoff walks. So now we got first and second. Like you said, the guy was a strike thrower coming in. But our offense did a good job of dominating the zone and gets behind here to Ryan Byers, and again, we keep talking about it. Comes up after a sack bump by Chris Eads with another big 2-out knock, who ended up having 6 RBIs in Game 1 of the day with a 2-out RBI, 2-run double there.
McNeese will try to get back in the ball game as a little sack fly here in the 4th, trying to chip away at the lead a bit.
Yeah, and again, we talked about just eliminating the big innings, and Jake, you can see, is a little frustrated there. He was kind of pumped up. He got out of it because he was frustrated. He kind of set himself up there in a bad situation, but did a good job of working out of it. and then allow the offense to come back again. You know, they punched, but we got a chance to counterpunch. Union Service with the leadoff single there, and then Midget dumps one in there in the left field. Now we got first and second, nobody out. Just allow this offense to kind of put up some runs all day long.
This ball would hit Kevin Carr. Right now, Kevin leading the conference in hit by pitches.
Yeah, and that was a big at bat. We tried to get a bunt down, couldn't get it down. We got the 2 strikes, tried to go in, and that's we talk about all the time. Something positive always happens after an HBP, and you see the base loaded walk here for the RBI. To just keep scoring and keep the pressure on that McNeese defense all day long. Kenny Menard comes up with a sac fly here, and you know, again, we talk about playing aggressive baseball. Probably got to play here at the plate. Kevin does a good job of tagging up at second base. Gets thrown out at third, but perfectly okay with it. And it's exactly what we talk about. You got to play aggressive. Sometimes you can get thrown out playing aggressive, and allow our offense really to kind of again put that pressure on them. We get another 2-out knock there. Get the bases loaded here, and again, just keep expanding the lead. Ryan Byers, another one of his RBIs. You know, he had 6 in this game. You saw that ball gets a little bit further out. He ends up maybe even having 9 or 10 RBIs in one game. But the offense just kept pouring it on and didn't let up. I think that was the most impressive part about the offense.
Big win, Matt. You take the series against McNeese State. We said it all over the highlights, but really the story of this game, Ryan Byers, 6 RBIs, a tremendous performance. And I got to ask you, he'd been out of the lineup the last couple of weeks. What made you decide to put him back in, and this was just a hunch?
You know, we really liked the matchup. You know, it felt like Ryan's been getting a lot better in his BP sessions and really has worked hard. You know, we saw him cool off a little bit there. He was extremely hot early. And, you know, the good thing about our club with our depth, a guy starts getting a little colder, you don't have to stick with him. You can get the next guy in who's just as hot, you know, like a Webb Bobo who had some big weeks there for us. But like I said, you know, felt like Ryan Byers was kind of a good matchup for the starter. I actually had Webb pencil in for game 3, but with Ryan's game having such a big game, he forced my hand to play him the second game as well, and just really proud of that young man for the hard work he's put in it.
All right, let's go back out and check out the game 3 highlights as the Lions look for the sweep against McNeese. Matt, you come back out for game 3, game 2 on the day, and Kyle Sedetall was fantastic in your offensive pickup right where they left off.
Yeah, you know, a real quick turnaround, and after having an offense performance where you pound out 15 runs and 18 hits, you know, sometimes that takes the gas out of you. You hope that you got your gas still left. Mr. Kingsley, who was on the bump for McNeese, really had our number the last 2 years. He's thrown extremely well against us, and you see, we talk about the HBP. He hits Menard, gets up to 2 strikes, 2 outs. First and second, and Chris Eads with a huge knock here in the second inning. This was, as you can see, the umpire Warner and Coach Hill there. Really a big knock for us to take that early lead and kind of keep that momentum we had from game 1 on to game 2.
Byers keeps it going with another hit, and then Jacob Seward comes up and adds on to the lead. And like you mentioned, this was all done with 2 outs here in the second inning.
Again, we talked about to win championships, there's 2 things you got to do. You got to be able to sweep, and this is a big part of it for us. And you got to be able to have 2-out RBIs from an offense standpoint to win championships. And
don't adjust your set here. As Brett Hoffman with his first career stand-up triple as he hits one down in the corner.
Yeah, the time stood still there for a little bit going down that line as Hoffman had the big knock there down the line. And again, I mean, what else you want to say? Here's another story with Ryan Byard, another hit back up the middle, and another RBI on the day. I think you see why he was well-deserving of that Southland Hitter of the Week.
Yeah, 8 RBIs on Sunday as he was named Southland Conference Hitter of the Week. Congratulations to Ryan Byers. And Jacob Seward actually took over the batting average lead for your club. I know him and Kevin Carr have been really back and forth with that so far, but Seward took it over this weekend. Another great weekend for him as well. And then Kyle Sedetall, you know, he kind of was lost in this one because so much offensively, but he dominated the McNeese hitters.
He really did, and I tell you what, he was so good. We talked about it a little bit maybe on Friday night where the offense got comfortable with Tate. They saw what happened. These guys felt comfortable at the plate and really swung the bat well on Sunday for Sed.
Well, Matt, what a great weekend. Your club sweeps McNeese State. McNeese had come in playing really good baseball, and you sent them out of here 0-3. Your team goes 3-0. 30 wins already, 30-11, the fastest club in Southeastern history to 30 wins. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. You know, and just again, we talk about saying short-sighted. Let's stay process-oriented. Let's don't get result-oriented. The result will be there if we stay process-oriented. And they've done a fantastic job of that. Let's just take it one game at a time, one pitch at a time. And by doing that, the result's been there so far. And again, great weekend for our guys. You know, we talked about it after Utah. We come off that week and sweep the next week and win 4 at ULL, sweep McNeese on the weekend. You forget about that last weekend real fast, but it can go the other way as well. So we've got to do a good job of just staying with the plan and keep that process going.
Also, with that note on picking up their 30th win of the season, that's 9 consecutive years Southeastern baseball with at least 30 wins here in Hammond. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get 9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Welcome to Buddy's Bar and Grill, located at 1236 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond. Buddy's is home to great steaks, fresh seafood, and friendly service. Buddy's has been voted the best steakhouse and best restaurant in Tangipahoa Parish. With over 2,500 square feet and 3 large dining rooms, Buddy's can accommodate any party. Buddy's goal has always been to wow customers with their food and prices. Owner Scott Henderson and his family have always believed in giving customers good deals for their hard-earned money. Stop by Buddy's Bar and Grill for dinner and a drink. For more information on Buddy's, please visit buddyshammond.com.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. As Matt, we're going to get to the Southland Conference standings, as once again your Lions are on top of the conference, but again, this thing is just so close. There's so many teams that are bunched up there, a lot of teams right on your trail.
Well, and that's what we keep talking about. You know, championship ball clubs have to sweep. You know, McNeese came in the weekend, a half game behind us. We sweep them on the weekend. Now they're 3.5 games. In order to get some distance there, and we will here late, you're going to have to do things like that. You're going to have to sweep, and we've done a good job so far. The chances we've had to sweep, we've swept 3 out of the 4 of them. So we got to continue to do that from that standpoint.
Also, another week in the National Collegiate Baseball's Radio Association poll, Lions are receiving votes. And if my math is correct, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure only 12 teams in the nation with 30 wins at this point of the year. So your club's off to a fantastic start here in 2015. There's a big 15 more games to go here in the regular season. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our Lion Profile of the Week. And this week, we're going to take a look at a unique situation that happens every week at home late in the ball game as Daniel Latham's mother passes out some Tootsie Pops.
If you've been to a game at the Pat this season, you've for sure witnessed some great Lion baseball. Southeastern's 19-3 at home this season, and if by chance you stayed past the 7th inning stretch, you more than likely have gotten some free candy.
It really started when my son was in high school. I used to throw a bag of Tootsie Rolls over the fence after a ball game that they won. And then when he went to play at Tulane, and Matt was playing there as well, just got to be something at the bottom of the 7th, I started handing them out to some of the parents. And then it continued to grow because more and more people were asking for Tootsie Rolls. And it was a superstition. And the year that we kept doing it, we ended up going to the World Series.
That's right, Susan Latham, mother of pitching coach Daniel Latham, spends her 7th inning stretch handing out free Tootsie Roll Pops to Lion fans. And Susan's become very popular on the lower concourse.
I just started handing it around to the people I knew. And then as I got to know more of the fans and more of the players and their parents, I knew who I could give it to.
Susan's relationship with baseball goes back to her son's high school days, as well as his playing days at Tulane, where he was a teammate of current Lions skipper Matt Reiser.
Starting with T-ball, through high school, travel team, college. He played, minor league a little bit, and it's a wonderful game. We just love it. And the players usually on the baseball teams are the nicest guys in the world. So the parents, it's just a family. All the parents are family.
So every home game, no matter whether the Lions are ahead or behind on the scoreboard, Susan goes to work handing out Tootsie Roll Pops during the 7th inning stretch. Usually her husband Ken Latham's the first to get his, followed by a very excited video guy who's next in line and always goes for the orange one.
I know to get you an orange one, so that's taken care of. I'll give it to the fans I know. Sometimes when the opposing team has some players back here, I'll give them one. And I usually bring about 25 a game, and I'll just hand them all out.
By the top of the 8th, most everybody has their candy and is back in their seats for the home stretch, with the exception of one person who waits to get his Tootsie Roll Pop after the game is over.
After the game, Daniel never wants one, but Matt always wants one.
Well, Matt, an interesting story. You know, if anybody's been sitting behind home plate for our games, you always see this lady walking around handing out Tootsie Pops and everything. I know you get yours after the game, but she does it every week, every game. It's like clockwork.
Yeah, you know, it's so great to have those the baseball superstitions, and you know, Coach Latham and I both played together at Tulane, and she did the same thing back then as well, and lo and behold, they work. I'll be honest with you, she starts passing them out, and somehow or another, in a weird shaped form, we start playing just a little bit better. So glad to have our fans. I think that they're having a good time in the stands, and proud to obviously get my little Tootsie Pop there at the end. I eat like the owl, the 1, 2, 3 crunch, and I'm out.
Well, I know this. I never turn it down whenever she offers me one there in the 7th inning. All right, let's go ahead and take our final break. We come back, we'll talk about the scouting report for this weekend right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get 9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grills. We just have a few minutes left here on our program. As Matt, let's talk about the scout report quickly. This weekend, you're going to go on the road to Houston to take on Houston Baptist. This is a club that's kind of a unique situation. You played them earlier than year in a non-conference game in a tournament, so you know something about it.
Yeah, you know, good club, and they beat us 2 out of 3 last year at our place. So we'll be out looking for a little bit of revenge. Definitely a quality club. It's right there again behind us in the standings. Again, we just got to take it one game at a time. We'll get them on Friday night.
Well, then, Matt, quickly on Tuesday night, you'll play Tulane for the 3rd time this year, looking to knock off the Green Wave. Yeah,
you know, again, seeking some revenge a little bit. They've handed it to us. They had the tight one there the first game that we felt like we should have got away with. 2 strikes, 2 outs. They get the knock, tie it up, get the triple to take the lead, and then wore us out their place. So we'll be back out. I think we have a much better team than what we showed last time out, so hopefully go back out and do something more.
Well, Matt, thanks for being here, and once again, congratulations. A fantastic week for Southeastern Baseball, 4-0, and we hope to be sitting here 4-0 again next week. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill. See you next week.